Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Naomi Rook. If you're brand new to my channel, consider subscribing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to ring the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I do upload a video. Today what I'm going to be doing is testing and doing a little bit of a demo on the E.L.F Camo Powder Foundation. I have this in Fair 150C. This retails for $11. I did get it on Ulta. This one is the third lightest color on Ulta's website. They have 12 options on Ulta, but they do go pretty dark, so that's really nice. On Ulta's website, it says it is an E.L.F Cosmetic Camo Powder Foundation. It is a primer-infused pressed powder foundation that has buildable coverage and an airbrush finish. It's a long wear buildable formula. It has a natural to semi-matte finish. Creates an airbrush, shine-free, and even complexion. Great for all skin types. And then it has a powder sponge included. Here's the compact. It's a little bit more bulky. It is white, and then at the bottom it does have a sponge. I did try using that. I don't really like how it applies, but I think it is good for, you know, if you're on the go and you have a touch-up. So this is the color of the third lightest. I definitely think they run a little bit dark. So if you think you have a light skin tone, I would go with a fair color and all the way up through the line. I did try applying this with two different brushes, one that's a little bit more dense and one that was a little bit less dense, a little bit more fluffy. I definitely preferred the more dense powder brush. I really do like how the finished look appears. It is very smooth and airbrush. It doesn't look super dry or cakey. It didn't give me maximum coverage, but I'm sure I could have built it up a little bit more. I did definitely make sure to use a very hydrating primer underneath. I just like how it turned out. I really like how it looks. I don't have a ton of experience with powder foundations. I normally just use them to either clean up the bronzer or maybe a little bit right here by my pores, and I like how it looks. It doesn't look heavy or cakey, and it was really fast and easy to apply, definitely faster than liquid foundations. If you'd like to see how I created this look and the powder and use, then go ahead and keep watching and let's get her done. I am so excited to play with this powder foundation. Like I said, I've not really experienced a whole lot with powder foundations, but when I saw the E.L.F Camo Powder Foundation, I really wanted to try out. I love the E.L.F Camo Concealer, the hydrating one. It is the best. I did already finish my eyeshadow. I used the Blend Bunny Cosmetics, the Dollhouse palette. I will have a review of that palette coming up on my channel here shortly. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, because I do have drier skin, I want to prep my skin really well with a very hydrating primer. Going with my Too Faced, the Plump and Prime. I really like this primer ever since I got it. Super hydrating. Makes your face feel so hydrated and so plump. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that. And then I'm going to do concealer first because I want to have some concealer, but I don't think a concealer would go over a powder foundation very well. So I'm going to blend this in and then go with concealer next. Primer is setting. I'm going to go in with my E.L.F Camo Concealer in a light peach. I figured what better than to use the E.L.F Camo Concealer for the E.L.F Camo Powder. So I'm going to apply just a little bit of this. I don't ever do my concealer first, so I know this is going to look a little weird, but I'm hoping it'll come together at the end. I'm just going to blend that out with my sponge. This is the hydrating concealer. It is my favorite. I'm not a huge fan of the normal one. I like it a lot more during the summer, but during the winter I definitely need the extra hydration that is in this one. I'm going to bring that down over my cheeks because I do have that redness. And let's hope this works out. There's the complexion with just the concealer. So I'm going to go in with my powder foundation now. This is in Fair 150C. So one thing I will say about this powder is that it definitely runs very dark. So this is the Fair 150C. I think it's the third lightest. This is almost too dark for me right now. So they definitely run dark. There's the swatch. You can see it on the back of my hand because it is a little bit too dark. I know powder foundations, you don't really want to pile on a ton, but I did want to let you know. It comes with a sponge that I did try out. I don't think I really enjoy applying it with a sponge, but I think that sponge would be really nice if you're going out or if you're at, you know, dinner and you want to touch up your makeup. I think that would be really great. So I'm going to try two different brushes with different amount of density. The Delamy Tools, this is the 958 DF Powder Blender. So it's kind of like a light dual fiber brush. The top is a bit of the duo fiber, but it has that more rounded edge, but it's kind of a bit more flexible. And then on the other side, I want to try the Delamy Tools. This is 968 PD HD Phase 2. This is a flat, more dense brush. I don't know which one's going to work better, but we're going to definitely try both of them. So I'm going to go in with the powder blender. It definitely knocks up a ton of powder when you tap your brush into it. That's not a huge concern, but it makes me wonder if you're going to go through this powder pretty fast. So I'm just going to go ahead and just blend that onto my skin, almost like any other powder I would apply. See what type of coverage I can get. So there's the first layer of powder. I felt it looked really nice over my forehead, which I don't have a lot of redness. Around my jaw looks nice, but I feel like right here it almost took away the concealer that was underneath it. So let's try a little bit more. And I'm just going to kind of tap it there and not blend it too much because I want to cover that redness. It works a little bit better. Let's try a tiny bit with the wet sponge and see if I can just apply it there. Oh, that was a lot better. I feel like that really did cover the little redness area. Let's try. Yeah. So there is that side using the more fluffy, not quite as dense brush. I think it looks okay. Up close, it doesn't look super dry. It looks pretty skin-like. I don't really see a ton of powder. It doesn't make me look dry. It kind of just looks pretty well like skin. Let's try the other side with a more flat, dense brush. I'm going to tap it into the product, and then I'm going to really tap that onto my skin, but not really blend it a whole lot. Ooh, I think I like this brush a lot more, the more flat, dense brush. It is definitely picking up a lot of powder, but it's really pressing it into the skin. It looks really nice. I'm going to go over my nose and then over where my concealer was. And I think I will probably use a lighter powder for under my eyes, but I'm going to take this all the way up to under my eyes to really blend that all together and set it nicely. Actually, it looks really nice. It looks very matte, but of course it was going to because it is a powder foundation. But I think with that highlighting primer underneath, it does look like skin. It doesn't look like my skin is like super dry and kind of crepey. The color does look okay for me. It looked definitely darker on the swatch, but all over the face I think it does work really well. So we are going to go ahead and finish the makeup. I'm going to lighten up my under eyes with a bit of lighter powder. I'm using my Jaclyn Cosmetics, the brightening palette. I'm taking the two lightest colors, and I'm just going to tap that really gently under my eyes, just to add the brightness that I like to have. The biggest issue with a powder foundation is you cannot use creams over top of it. I normally really love using cream products, but I'm going to go in with all of my powder products. I'm going to go in with the Catrice. This is the Sungasm Luminizing Bronzer, and I am going to add a little bit more glow back into my face using this because I normally like a more luminous type finish to my face, but I did want to try out this powder. I've only used powder foundations to either clean up my bronzer underneath or maybe set right here where I have some bigger pores, but I've never used it all over the face. But when I saw this one being released, I definitely wanted to try it all over my face because I do love the E.L.F Camo Concealer. So I wanted to see how this formula was going to be. I also wanted to see if I was going to like a powder foundation, and what better way to test that than with something a little bit more inexpensive, not something that, you know, is $20, $30, just to see if I'm actually going to use a product or like it. I do really love this bronzer though. This is a beautiful luminous bronzer. So I'm going to go in with the Pretty Vulgar Make Them Blush. This is the Hush Blush. This is such a beautiful, cool toned pink color. I like this one a lot. I thought it would go really well with my eyeshadow. I'm just going to blend that up on my cheeks in an upward angle, give me those really high cheekbones. Then on top of that, I'm going to do the Wet n Wild. This is the Baked Blush. I'm going to give myself just a little bit of a luminous touch right back here. Okay, so next I'm going to highlight. I want to spray my face first. It's all looking really nice. It looks very matte, but very smooth. So I'm going to use my Glow Recipe Watermelon Ultra Fine Glow Mist. I figured I would use more of my e.l.f. products, so I'm going to go with my e.l.f. Face Duo. This is in Watermelon. I love this highlighter so much. I'm just going to tap that onto the high points of my cheeks. Alright, so there is the finished look on my lips. I have the Morphe Forecast Liner, I have my Jeffree Star Nudist Colony lipstick, and then on top is my Lottie London Oil Slick. I really like how my makeup turned out. Everything blended so well on top. I love the foundation finish. It is a very soft matte, but it looks really airbrushed. I don't find a lot of dryness or anything. Like up close, my skin looks really, really nice. I did apply a setting spray before I did my highlighter, but I really like how it looks. I think it's really pretty. So hopefully this was helpful. I really do think I'm going to enjoy this powder foundation a lot. Thank you so much for watching this video, and then I will just catch you on the next one. Bye guys!